Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Flock. So if you don't know what Flock is a fiber arts festival that comes to Seattle every August. And this year it is August 9th and August 10th. And it's an amazing event because there are so many vendors that come from all across the US and selling all of their yarn, sometimes even just wool in general so that you can spin it yourself. Honestly, it's not just yarn. There's a lot of other items that are there, and it's an amazing time to stock up on yarn. Also get to talk to some of the makers who make your yarn and get to know and support other small businesses. So I find it to be a lot of fun. But last year was my first year going, and I found that I was underprepared and overwhelmed by how much yarn and how many vendors there were there. So this year I took it upon myself to try to be a little bit more prepared and organize my thoughts. A thing to keep in mind is that I didn't realize last year that the internet connection there, not great. So if you're trying to pull up your Ravelry a little last minute or flip through things, you should probably have those pre-downloaded or screenshotted. I did not do that, and that's where I became a little overwhelmed because I didn't know how much yarn to buy when I did find yarn that I did like. So this year, I have been going to some coffee shops and preparing my Flock wish list. I'm trying not to plan too much because I do find that it can be easy to buy a ton of yarn, and I'm trying to be a little bit realistic and not spend every penny on yarn, although that could be very easy to do. So I've tried to thoughtfully plan what I think I can actually knit this year and hopefully find a little inspiration for at Flock. So I'm going to show you this on here. I might throw it over here as well, just in case it doesn't show on screen, but we'll find out in editing. All that to say, here are a couple of my Flock knitting plans. So here's the Loupy stripe cardigan, and I put on here the yarn weight that it's going to be and the yardage so that I know exactly how much yardage that I need and what type of yarn to get without having to flip through too much. So there are a couple of different stripe patterns for this that I really like. I've debated on just doing my stash yarn that I have, but I don't think I have enough of this type of weight for it, and I don't really think I want to hold yarn double while doing this. But I love the stripes on here, and I threw this other cardigan that I found on the bottom here as a little bit of yarn inspiration because I do find that I wear browns and blues a lot, and so I'm going to try to actually knit things that in colors that I think will work, because I do find that although I love knitting in bright colors, I don't tend to wear super bright colors a lot. Hi Mozzarella, want to say hi? Hi. So I'm trying to be a little bit more realistic so that when I am putting a ton of time into things, I actually end up wearing the things more. But let's flip through here a little bit. So this is the next one that I'm very excited about. I have seen a lot of these dresses and t-shirts with a lot of buttons lately on my Pinterest, and so I really want to knit this, and I put a little yarn here as my inspiration. So I'm thinking like a cream colored yarn, because I think just a bright white is a little too I don't think it looks the best on me for a bright white, but a cream colored white I think will look really nicely. But instead of just doing, so this one here has all these buttons in the same colorway, I think it'd be really fun to do in like 5 or 6 different colors and just have mismatching buttons all over. I just think that'd be so much fun. So that's what even though I do love the pattern, I think I'm very excited over the buttons. He doesn't have any thoughts, at least on this. But yeah, so I actually did buy some buttons. They're right here. I got those at Seattle Recreative, and if you haven't heard of Seattle Recreative, that's another great place to go check out. They are Let me invite Monty over 1 second. Come here, buddy. Come here. Hi. Seattle Recreative is it's a used art supply store. So people donate their craft supplies that they don't need anymore, aren't putting to use, and then Seattle Recreative resells them. And they're also a nonprofit, so it's a great place to go check out if you need some yarn, because they do have a lot of nice yarn there and acrylic yarn. There's a whole gambit of yarn there and other craft supplies you can need, but try not to get too sidetracked. I only have 2 more here. So the third top that I want to make is the Mew top. Now this pattern just was released, I think last week or so, and I've been following this designer for a while and I've been very excited for this pattern release. So I love how it's like a little asymmetric off shoulder top. I've been trying to do that a little bit more with some of the shirts I've been thrifting, but I'm very excited to be able to knit one of my own. Now, the more I've been looking at this, I've been debating on whether or not to do this in a stripe or just in this color, but I am leaning towards a neutral on this one because I think I'll be able to wear it in a bunch of different settings if it was in a more neutral color tone. But maybe I'll make a few of these because I could see myself knitting in a few different colors, like a blue or something. But for now, we're gonna go with the... Sorry about that. I gave Monsi some treats because I think he was a little hungry, but we're back. So yes, I've been really into these asymmetric tops, and for now we're just gonna stick with the color that is already on the sample photo here, because I think, like I said, I'll be able to wear that a lot more, and then maybe in the future I'll knit a few of these because I see that happening. And last is the ribbed harmony top. Now, I did look and see that the notes on this one said that it tends to run long, but I'm just gonna stop it a little short. I think this one would be a fun one to do in more of a crop top size, and I've never done I believe this is brioche stitch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be my first time doing it as well. So again, I'm trying something new here. And I do love how these colors look. I feel like they're very kind of grunge, and that's very Seattle. So I do want to do some neutrals. Now, don't fear, I do still love knitting colorful things. Just for some reason right now, I'm gravitating a little bit towards some neutral palettes. But I think this one would also be fun to do in a double blue. So like maybe like a cornflower and a navy would be really cute to do. So I think pretty much everything that I've shown you for my flock inspiration, I love everything so much that I'd be tempted to knit multiples of in the future, which I think just means that they're great patterns. So I'm excited to knit these. I believe the ribbed harmony one is a free pattern, and everything else, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the Loupy stripe is also a free pattern. So I'm gonna put these in the captions below so that you guys can actually check them out. I really appreciated when others were telling me to, edit my videos with those. So I love when you guys give me some, feedback on what to do to improve your own viewing pleasure, because honestly, that's what makes making these fun. And I know when I'm going to flock, I'm gonna have a ton of fun there as well. So another fun thing about flock is, I know last year there was a yarn maker from Whidbey Island, I forget their name, but they had sheep with them. So even if you're maybe trying to stay on a budget and not buy too much yarn, I think just going to flock to go pet some sheep would be a very fun thing to do. So that was fun for me. I'm hoping they'll be back this year. And there's also, I think they have panels where different yarn makers and fiber artists will talk about how to do different projects and how to improve your own knitting skills. So check those out. There's so many great things to do, and they are also very inclusive of making sure that there are still mask on times for people. So I believe the first date August 9th from, I want want to say 10 a.m. till noon is going to be mask on. And then after that, it's open to the public for, in the sense that anybody can come in with or without masks. So if you're looking for a mask on time, come a little bit earlier. And if you're not, come a little later. So just another tip. I think you should pack a little snack when you're there. I got a little hungry last year and I don't think there were any food vendors. Maybe I just didn't see them because there's so many yarn vendors there, but I'm going to be packing a cookie or a granola bar or something and a little water bottle with me. And hopefully that keeps me hydrated and energized throughout the whole thing, because I did find last year I got a little tired when I was getting overwhelmed, but despite being a little overwhelmed at such a big event, I am very excited about going back this year because I feel like I am planned and organized. So hopefully these tips help you at either this year's Flock Festival or whatever Fiber Arts Festival you're going to. So I hope you have fun. Let me know what you're planning on knitting, what yarns you're on the lookout for, and if there's anything that it's inspiring you right now.